Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the August 13th Planning and Zoning Meeting Commission meeting to order. Will you please stand for the pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hubbard?
Here.
Commissioner Bradshaw?
Present.
Commissioner Helms?
Present.
Commissioner Kirkham?
Present.
Commissioner Morris?
Present.
Chairman Hassett?
Present.
Vice Chair Gillette? Here. Commissioner Patillo?
Present.
Commissioner Martin? Commissioner Rugi? We have a quorum.
Automated announcements.
Anyone who has not signed in, please do so at the table located in the lobby. Should anyone wish to speak, please complete a request to speak form, which is also located on the lobby table next to the sign-in sheet. A request to speak form must be completed for each item you would like to speak on. Please note, there are stairs on the right, left, and center aisles, and we ask that you use caution when using the stairs. There is also a ramp located to the audience's left. If anyone has written comments, exhibits, petitions, photos, or letters they intend to present at today's meeting, have 17 copies and give them to a staff member at the back of the auditorium. Staff member, please hold up your hand for the audience. If you do not have 17 copies, you may use the overhead camera to present your documents. Please place your documents on the podium and line it up with the arrows indicated. If you want your documentation to go on record, you must hand them to the clerk after your presentation with the agenda item number clearly marked on the documentation. Members of the public cannot speak to staff members that are seated at the tables with microphones during the meeting. If you have questions, please see the staff member located in the back of the auditorium. All speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to make their presentation statements. Everyone, please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate during the meeting. If you must take a call, please leave the meeting area and go outside to have your conversation. We also ask the audience to refrain from talking with one another during the presentations and discussions. Today, the Planning and Zoning Commission will hear public testimony and then forward a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. Everyone attending the meeting is asked to remember that the administrative building and campus are tobacco-free areas, which means no smoking is allowed from curb to curb. No food or drinks are allowed in the auditorium except for bottled water. If there are any items remaining on the agenda, the commission will break for lunch for 1 hour per the chairman's discretion.
The Board of Supervisors on Tuesday, September 2nd at 9:30 a.m. in this same location with the exception of any items that are continued. First, approval of the July 9th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
First, second, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Item carries. Item 1, Cassidy.
Item 1 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of a portion of assessor's parcel number 402-65002 from an RE 10-acre residential recreation 10-acre minimum lot size zone to a C2H highway commercial zone to allow for a storage warehouse in the Beaver Dam vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Not present. So closing the public hearing. Sorry, did somebody say something? Oh, well, welcome back, by the way. Questions or comments for staff from the commission? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 1.
I move that we approve item 1 with staff recommendations.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, item carries. Item 2, Melanie.
Item 2 is an evaluation of a request for a special use permit for assessors parcel numbers 12007, 097, 098, and 099 to allow for the permitting of model homes in the DL Ranch subdivision prior to approval of the final plat in an RO, single-family residential manufactured homes prohibited zone. Staff does find that the application is proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is present. Do you wish to speak this time or just available for questions? Thank you very much. Alan or Lori Geber? No, you have to come up, name and address for the record.
My name is Lori Geber,
Address, please.
4590 East Cheryl Lane, Lake Havasu City.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
We're not happy in the community they're having this large low-income housing development being put out there. But obviously, money talks, and we feel like we're the dumping ground of Lake Havasu right now by allowing this. And we can't stop it, obviously, but we would like for them to not be allowed to put up mobile homes until they meet all the requirements, or model homes, not mobile homes, model homes, before they meet all the requirements. Why would they be allowed to do that?
Well, unfortunately, we're not able to interact. This is just your time to speak, so go ahead and take the time allotted.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. You're all right.
And so I just don't understand why that would be allowed without doing all the proper procedures. And I would just like to say, with such large development and probably future ones to come, that it'd be really nice if you allowed for a more open space, that it's allowed for everybody, not just those communities. Anyway, thank you.
Very welcome. I would recommend, Lori, if you haven't had an opportunity, that's a pretty reputable builder in the Havasu area from what I understand, so maybe reach out to them directly, and I'm sure they'd put some of your concerns at ease.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just not allowed to speak and interact in that aspect. Any questions for the applicant at this time from commissioners?
I do have a couple.
Would you please come up?
Tell us kind of what is outstanding on the final plat? What is left to be done before the final plat is approved? And I have a couple of questions. So I'll just ask a couple. Maybe you can just respond. Is the property under construction? So the construction documents are approved, and it is under. So there is iron on the ground, and then how far away is the final plat?
Correct. If I misspeak, Scott can correct me here, but the final plat has been reviewed and approved by staff. We're just waiting for improvements to be completed before we're allowed to apply for the final plat to be formally approved by the Board of Supervisors. But construction permits have been issued.
So the construction documents are completed. So basically, you're working toward finishing up the development, and then you will record the plat with an as-built assurance.
Correct.
And how long do you expect that to be?
To complete the construction,
Yes.
we expect to be done by the end of the year.
Great. Thank you.
Or any other questions for the applicant? Any other questions for the applicant from commissioners? All right. If not, I'm going to close the public hearing, entertain a motion on item 2.
Move approval.
First,
Second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the item carries. Item 3, Vicky.
Agenda item 3 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a rural development area land use designation to a suburban development area land use designation and a rezone of assessor's parcel number 120220004 from an AR 36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for a residential subdivision in the Havasu Heights vicinity. We have received 6 letters of opposition and 1 letter of support. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Just available for questions? Or do you wish to speak? Which one? You come on down if you want. Why don't you do that? And also, may I please have Rick Johnson and Lori, would you like to come back up? If you guys want a seat right here in the front row, you can speak after the applicant. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Lainey Scholl, and did you say address?
Yes, please.
My address is 3335 Highway 95. I reside in Parker, Arizona.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
So we are asking to do 1 acre parcels, which is in conforming with all of the other property surrounding Havasu Heights. Of course, there are larger parcels, and there have been recently approved acres and plats for much smaller parcels, as we were just hearing in this hearing. Lot sizes for 5,000 square feet have been approved. There's been lot sizes of 25 a quarter acre parcels. We're asking for 1 acre parcels, which is over 40,000 square feet. So we're complying with what's already existing in Havasu Heights, not asking anything out of the ordinary, so to speak.
Thank you very much. Questions for the applicant from commission at this time? Nothing? If you'd like to take a seat, they may have something
Sure.
that comes up after the public. Lori?
Actually, in section 22 are all larger parcels. There's only one parcel that's 1 acre. The rest are all like 5 to 10 acre parcels. But anyway, I'm going to read this because I'm super nervous.
Okay, you're doing great. You're good.
Okay, so number 1, the increased sprawl and environmental degradation. The smaller lots consume open space, fragment wildlife habitats, and disrupt the natural ecosystem. This diminishes biodiversity and threatens ecological services like air, water purification, stormwater management, and soil retention. Large lot zoning can mitigate these effects. Number 2, the strain on infrastructure and services. Denser development on smaller lots strains the infrastructure such as roads, schools, and emergency services. This can lead to increased traffic and higher costs for taxpayers to fund the expansion of these services. Number 3, compromised water quality. Lower density, larger lots with proper septic systems or access to community sewage systems can help ensure safe and adequate water and sewage disposal, which is critical for protecting everybody's groundwater and maintaining environmental health. Low density development, like she's asking for, low density development, like 5 acre parcels, can benefit water quality in areas without municipal sewer and water. Smaller lots, i.e. 1 acre properties, can make it difficult to implement safe individual water and septic systems, especially if the soil or site conditions are not suitable. Lastly, the loss of rural character and open space. Rural areas are valued for their peaceful atmosphere and natural beauty. Allowing 1 acre subdivision diminishes this character and replaces it with suburban sprawl. And that's not why we all moved out there. Consider the long-term consequences of the zoning decision, please, and prioritize preserving rural heritage and natural resources. Implementing a 5 acre minimum lot size can ensure responsible development. We're not opposed to development, just responsible development, and maintain the community's quality of life. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Rick Johnson? Name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, hi, my name is Rick Johnson. My address is 4177 Coronado Road in Havasu Heights. I'm actually not opposed to the actual request or development other than the lot size in itself. I moved out to a rural area for a specific reason, to separate myself from living so close to people. I would hope that you would consider to keep the lot sizes maybe at a minimum of 2 acres or 2.5 acres of building. My concern is more about the security and the facilities in the area that would help with fire, emergency, traffic, and things like that. And maybe that's been discussed now, obviously, with 928 homes already being introduced to our area. I would like to know where to go to find out how we're going to control the traffic flow of people coming in and out of the Havasu Heights area. Right now, it's dangerous enough as it is to enter Highway 95 from Havasu Heights area. Maybe it's already been discussed, and maybe there's already a plan in the works, but I would think that right now we're putting the cart in front of the horse without having the infrastructure put in first to handle the influx of building. Again, I'm not against building. I'm in the building industry and like to see growth and things like that, but living out there in the area, I see we have a need for infrastructure first, from fire, safety, police. Our nearest next fire station is more than 20 miles away, as well as our hospital. And so what are the plans moving forward to facilitate emergencies and taking care of the area? And so that's why I was here to learn more about the growth and development of literally my next door neighbors, which that's what we're talking about here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd encourage maybe reaching out to staff after the meeting for some of those questions. Can I get Arlo Cox, please?
My name's Arlo Cox. I live at 7318 North Haley Drive. I've been out there for approximately 15 years. I've been acquiring property around my property to try to clean up some of the zoning problems that have been there in the past. I've been told for 15 years that the master plan is that this was to be 5-acre density. Most of the neighbors out there, that has been the intent. I'm trying to figure out, just because the newer development out there with lower sizes down less than 1/4 of an acre, is that now changed the character of the whole neighborhood to where we're going to change that? I've asked the question of what distance it takes to be within range or within distance. And I've never had a satisfactory answer for that. Just because the DL development come in, does that change everything in that whole 5-mile range, 1-mile range? I don't know. Because like I say, I've acquired and talked with most of the neighbors. I'm adjacent to this property on 2 sides of it. I tried to buy that, to do the same thing with it, to hold it, and missed because it never even made the MLS. But that's been my concern, trying to clean up, because we have a lot of access problems, roads that aren't there, private roads that have never been addressed, a lot of landlocked property that's within our section. And I'm trying to fix some of that for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Staff, is that something you feel like you can answer that question for him? With regards to the master plan was 5 acres, and then with the DL, does it change everything?
Chairman Hassett, so the general plan is currently rural development area, which is typically 5-acre lots or larger. So this item is amending the general plan for this proposed development, which is similar to what the DL Ranch subdivision did when they came in. They did a plan amendment as well. And yeah, certainly when we look at these types of proposed developments, one of the big things that differentiates between rural development areas and suburban development areas and urban development areas is infrastructure, and the kind of the expectation of infrastructure as you reach those higher densities. And with the subdivision process, we have the mechanism to require developers to provide that infrastructure that we would expect with those densities. So in this case, going from a rural development area to a suburban development area, they will have to pave roads, they will have to provide water and electricity to all of the lots within this subdivision. So we'll expand that infrastructure. As we as staff, as we look at a proposed development or a rezone request, there's not a specific distance that we look at for whether or not something similar is in range. We kind of have to take those on a case-by-case basis. The size of the property and the development that's around it all comes into play there.
Thank you very much. Hopefully that answered your question. If not, I'd encourage you to meet with staff after the meeting. Any questions from commission for the applicant or for staff?
I have some questions for staff.
Okay, you have a question for applicant?
Um,
Or is it for staff?
it's more for staff, I think.
Okay, go ahead. Well, go ahead, Commissioner.
Yeah, so hypothetically, if this was approved, they would have a general plan amendment, at which point they would, at some point in the future, have to go for zoning, at which point does the county require them to do and this is just to kind of refresh my memory because I don't actually remember, their certificate of approval for sanitary facilities. And how strict are they going to be with the fact that this are acre lots? Presumably it's going to be on septic, I would assume. And if it is, how strict are you with the requirements of the design for the most constrained lot as far as septic systems? Because that's part of when you're doing the sanitary facilities for large developments that are going to be on septic systems. You need the most constrained lot. You need to prove that you can put a system on there. I think their standard is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. That's what they require it to meet. But at which point is all that required?
Chairman Hassett, Commissioner Patillo. So this item before the commission today is the general plan amendment and the rezone. So this is the plan amendment and the zoning. Once this gets approved, the next step would be a preliminary plat. It's at the final plat stage that we require that certificate of sanitary facilities. I apologize, I can't get into the specifics of what's looked for. That's our environmental quality division looks at that and would be the one that would issue that certificate of sanitary facilities. They would know those requirements a lot better than I would.
Mr. Chair, if I may, but it is part of the process. So if we get to that point at the final plat and our environmental quality division says this is not going to work, then they're going to have to amend their final plat to show that it is going to work, maybe increase their lot sizes or whatever it would take to do that. So they would have to go through the process. We'd have to get all the approvals before we would issue approval on that final plat.
What about the, I've heard mention the other subdivision out there, and refresh my memory. Is that on sewer or is that on septic as well?
Chairman Hassett, Commissioner Patillo. So the homes that are out there currently in the Havasu Heights development, those are all on septic systems. The DL Ranch one that we just heard an item for, that one there will be a centralized sewer.
Okay.
Commissioner Bradshaw?
Yes, thank you. So you mentioned that the subdivision itself would have to be improved, but with only 40 lots, would you assume that there would need to be off-site improvements done for this development?
Chairman Hassett, Commissioner Bradshaw, one of the requirements will be a paved road. It needs to lead to the subdivision as well, so there will be some off-site improvements. I don't know where exactly the paving of Heights Boulevard is currently, but most likely, I believe it's paved all the way to where they would turn off of Heights Boulevard, so they would have to extend that pavement from where they turn off of Heights Boulevard into the development.
So an additional 1 mile of pavement. And again, I think you mentioned this, that you don't really, you look at a case-by-case scenario, whether or not it meets kind of the surrounding area. But when I look at this section, I see 3 lots that are clear to the south that are less than 2 acres. Everything else is 5 acres, actually. And then the development kitty corner, the Havasu Heights, they're almost 2 acres apiece. And then, of course, you have a mile away the 5,000 square foot development. And so, what criteria do you say that it's reasonable to change from 5 acre surrounding to 1 acre or 10 acre? I mean, literally, the lots next to this parcel are 10 acres plus, directly adjacent to it.
Yeah, Chairman Hassett, Commissioner Bradshaw. So for this particular development, so the Heights Boulevard does have, or the Havasu Heights development is the general plan designation is a rural development area. However, those lots fit in the suburban development area designation because those are all, or lots of them are under that 5 acres. And they do range, most of them are over an acre, but they are kind of in that 1 to 2 acre lot range. So that's one of it. Also, so off of Heights Boulevard, you have the DL Ranch project, which is the 6,000 square foot lots. And adjacent to that, the Board of Supervisors just recently approved a final plat for another subdivision with 1 acre lots north of Heights Boulevard that's immediately to the east of the Deal Ranch project. And so kind of with that combination, and we've seen the increase in paved roads going out there, we felt that that was sufficient to be considered in the area and proper for the consideration of the commission and the board.
Hearing no other questions, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you? I'd like to reopen the public hearing. Name and address for the record, please. Are you the applicant?
Contractor,
Oh,
Garrett Scholl.
name and address for the record, please.
Garrett Scholl, 3335 Parker, North Highway 95 Parker. Even though the property is 40 acres, the usable property on that, there's probably only going to be 28 to 30 lots because of the washes that we have to contend with, and then the roads, and then a park, probably a water retention basin. So the density isn't really, we're not putting 40 lots in, we're putting 28. So I think it's 36 now, whatever so that would be a 36 acre lot. We're going to be, so we'd be utilizing 36 acres at that point. Now we're pretty much usually only going to use 28 acres, maybe 30. So we're probably going to use 6 acres less than what it's zoned for. We're going to have, they'll be spread out. They're not, whatever they do, they're not going to put the houses directly next to each other. So 1 acre lots will still be spread out throughout that property in the best usage it can be. So we're not really creating a lot of density there. It's still going to be spread out on that 40 acres. We're not putting 40 lots in. We can't.
Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry, you have a question.
I do. Sir, are you building houses that are going to be low-cost housing?
I'm actually not building anything. I'm just a general contractor that does surveying out there for people. My father-in-law. I don't think it's going to be low, but I don't think they're going to build mansions out, from what I understand.
So it's not going to be low-cost?
I mean, I don't know what you consider low cost. We own a real estate company.
Reasonable cost.
I'm not building it, so I could only just speculate. Probably between 400 500.
You're not targeted building low cost. The answer is no to.
I'm not building anything. I'm just giving the diagram and the layout of the property for the.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I do have
for staff or for applicant.
Maybe both, but I want to start with staff. Let me have a
Go ahead.
If that's okay. Thank you. Excuse me. So, if we approve this, they could bring in 5 lots, and it would not necessarily trigger the necessity for 5 lots at a time, particularly a 5-lot preliminary plat every 2 years or 3 years, and it would not trigger the requirement for a paved road. Is that correct? What would trigger that?
Chairman Hassett, Commissioner Bradshaw. So there is the Mojave County Land Division regulations do have provisions for a minor land division, which is 5 parcels created or fewer. Typically, when somebody rezones for a minor land division, we add in a condition in our standard conditions that a parcel plat has to be approved and recorded before that zoning becomes official, and then before they can split those lots. In this case, because they're looking to do a subdivision, that condition, so it would be condition number 3 in the staff recommendation, is that the rezone will become effective upon the recordation of the final plat or for each phase of the final plat if the subdivision is phased. So in this case, if they just did a parcel plat for a minor land division of 5 or fewer lots, because of that condition, it wouldn't vest the zoning. They would need the preliminary plat and then the final plat to be approved before that zoning would become official.
Okay, so let's say they brought in a 10-acre subdivision or a 10-lot subdivision. How would that track, and would that trigger the necessity for a paved road?
The zoning.
I'm saying a 10-lot, 10 one-acre lots, and then they, 2 years later they bring in another 10 one-acre lots.
Chairman Hesse, Commissioner Bradshaw, so any development that has lots that are less than 5 acres are required to provide paved roads to the subdivision and throughout the subdivision. So if they do, even if it's only 10 lots that they're creating in the first phase, they would be required to provide paved roads for all of those lots.
Okay.
Hearing no other questions, I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 3.
I make a motion to approve per standard issue.
Oh. Okay, hold on. We can't keep going back and forth on this one. So are there, I can't, you've already spoke, so I've already given the time for that. If the applicant has something that they need to go over with, about low-cost housing? Okay. Only based on the fact that it's from an applicant standpoint and it answers the question more adequately, I will reopen the public hearing and you can answer Vice Chair Gillette's question.
The attended use, again, I'm sorry, Laney Scholl, and the attended use for the subdivision is not for affordable housing. It could be enticing for workforce housing, given the fact that is 1 acre lots. It could also be high-end housing. It really is dependent upon what the final numbers project, but the intention going into this is not affordable housing.
Thank you very much.
Then I have another question.
Sure.
So are you thinking in terms of building all these houses yourself as the contractor, or are you selling the lots and having the people build their own houses?
Well, I'm a realtor, and I'm here with power of attorney representing the landowner.
Okay.
So, from what I understand, the goal is to allow whoever buys the lot a parameter of what design and how big and how expensive they want to build on the property. So, we are not going in. There's this subdivision, this necessary growth that we have for the I-40 corridor Griffin Development Project, and a number of jobs coming into this area, including another parcel that I represent the seller on off the 95, where the big commercial developer is coming in, and there's going to be hundreds of jobs needed. We need more housing, and these lots would help us fulfill a need that is desperate in our county right now.
Ma'am, I believe she was just inquiring if you were building the homes or selling the lots.
I am not building the homes. Again, I'm not a builder, I'm a realtor. I hope that I'm the one selling the lots and the homes, but that's still to be determined.
I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Closing the public hearing, there is a motion on the table. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 1. Motion carries. Item 4, Melanie. Oh, I'm sorry. Ma'am, you have a call to the public at the end if you would like to speak, okay? Item 4, Melanie.
Item 4 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 329-05038 from an R1 1A single-family residential 1 acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for an RV as a temporary residence in the White Hills vicinity. Staff does find that the application is proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Or just available for questions? Thank you very much. There's no one else signed up to speak at this time. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 4.
I move that we approve item 4.
A second.
There is a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item carries. Thank you. Item 5, Cassidy.
Item 5 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 316110608 from an AR 5A agricultural residential 5 acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 2A agricultural residential 2 acre minimum lot size zone to bring the property into compliance in the Dolan Springs vicinity, Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is on Teams. Do you wish to speak at this time or just available for questions? While we wait for a response from the applicant, does the commission have any questions for staff? Hearing none.
Good. Okay, I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant? Keller, thank you very much. Closing the public hearing, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 5.
Make a motion to approve per standard conditions.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, item carries. Item 6,
Thank
Vicky.
you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 6 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 206-28065 from an AR36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR5A agricultural residential 5-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for a minor land division in the Kingman vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is present, and do you wish to speak at this time? Name and address for the record, please.
I'm Donna Kraus with Mojave Engineering, and we're located at 2153 East Gordon Drive here in Kingman. Staff's done a great job in identifying the intent of the owner, and I just would like to further clarify that the conceptual presented was very rough. He would like 4 lots of approximately equal size, considering the terrain and the drainage issues that are present and the need for the infrastructure that he intends to place. The intent of this is he is keeping a larger lot for his estate, and basically it will conform with the other zones in the neighborhood. It will be passive, and that's about it. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. Questions for the applicant from commission? No, thank you. Hearing none, are there any questions for staff? If not, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 6.
I move that we approve item number 6 with standard conditions.
Second.
There's a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 7, Cassidy.
Item 7 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a suburban residential and low-density residential land use designations to a medium-density residential land use designation and a rezone of assessor's parcel number 310010102 from an AR10A agricultural residential 10-acre minimum lot size zone to an R1 single-family residential zone to allow for a residential subdivision in the Kingman vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is present on Teams for questions. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant or for staff? Hearing none. Applicant, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Closing the public hearing, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 7.
Make a motion to approve per standard conditions.
There's a first.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 8, Vicky.
Agenda item 8 is an evaluation of a request for a rescission of Board of Supervisors Resolution 2017-156 that approved a rezone of assessor's parcel number 243-19011 from an AR36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR18A agricultural residential 18-acre minimum lot size zone in the Yucca vicinity. The conditions of approval of Resolution 2017-156 were not met. Staff recommends Resolution 2017-156 be rescinded.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to? I want to just make sure of something. Chuck DeShazer, you are confirmed number 9, correct? Because it's not in my book, but it's discussion of residential water, or did you mean this one? Okay. Anyone present that wishes to speak on item 8? Closing the public hearing, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 8.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Item carries. Item 9.
Mr. Chair, well, we have our Chief Building Official, Gilbert, he's going to be presenting on this. I just wanted to kind of give a little backstory. It was brought to the attention of our Board of Supervisors about water heater permits. They inquired whether or not they are needed, and if there was a way that we could either remove the permit or make it optional. Staff agreed to be able to take it through the process. One of the steps was to take it to the Building Code Advisory Board, which we have already presented to the Building Code Advisory Board. And then the next step would be to bring it to the Planning and Zoning Commission and then to the Board of Supervisors. Staff has always maintained that the water heater permit is a needed permit, but wanted to give the option for that the board is requesting as either removing it or making it voluntary. Gilbert has a presentation that he'll present, and then we'll also present the decision of the Building Code Advisory Board as well.
So could just point of clarity here, voluntary to the applicant or?
Yeah, and
it's in the presentation?
Chief Building Official will get it, it's in the presentation, but it would be voluntary for the applicant to apply if they wanted to, is what the option is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead, sir.
Chairman Hassett and Commissioners. Yeah, as Scott said, the board directed us to do some research and propose some different options for residential water heater replacement permits. And these are the tanked water heaters, not the, and I'll get into some other ones on that. But the proposed options were: 1, require a permit and inspection, which would require no change in the building ordinance or fees. Option 2 would be make the permit and inspection voluntary. That would amend the building ordinance. And option number 3 would be do not require a permit and inspection. And again, that would also amend the ordinance. A little history on hot water heaters. Ever since I've been in the building industry and prior to the Uniform Building Codes, prior to 2000, there's always been a section in the building codes addressing hot water heaters and installation requirements. Little survey of the other cities, all the cities, Kingman, Havasu, Bullhead, 15 counties, all require permits and fees for hot water heater inspections and replacement permits. In your packet there, I put in some statistics of just how many permits we're getting in 2002, 22, 23, and 24. We don't get a lot, but what we are seeing in that of the breakdown of contractors pulling them, owner builders pulling them, and what corrections were required when we do the inspections, the percentage was quite high even for contractors. I'll just say in 2024, we had 95% of the permits, 36 permits were pulled, but 95% of those were contractors. We had 11% correction rate on licensed contractors installing these. So we do feel our inspection is important. In your packet also, I put in there a Find Home Builders magazine article, basically listing the top 10, they call code violations. We just say installation, issues. Another thing in your packet is the 2018 residential code of what we look for on a hot water heater inspection, and also an information sheet on things that items that we don't permit or are exempt from building code. And that's actually kind of what we're looking today. Should we exempt these out of the building code, or should we go forward with inspections or modify that somehow?
Pause you really quick. What packet are you talking about?
We don't have it.
Should have been a complete packet. It was in the agenda packet.
Presented
In the agenda items.
Oh, okay, never mind. Continue. I closed my laptop to watch your video, but go ahead, sorry.
Okay, Commissioner. Right now, we'll start the video. On the first picture here, we have temperature and pressure relief valves that are required on those. Basically, if the unit overheats, it blows off. These are also a thing they drain to the exterior, so they do need a pan to collect that if they're in the house. Another one in this slide shows that if the temperature is not set correctly, you do have issues with the system itself. Let's see which I go here. There we go.
Another thing we see a lot is the pressure relief valve. You'll see this copper pipe coming up that actually is a gravity-fed pipe. You see this one going uphill and out of the house. So that right there would back up and basically cause a pressure relief valve or the temperature relief valve to fail, which could explode the unit. Some different things on gas, hot water heaters. We find a lot of installation issues with those. One is it's not a code violation, but it's a sediment trap is typically on a gas line, which keeps debris out of the gas line and into the burner system, which fails the unit quicker than it should. So that's something we inspect for. Gas line or size of the correct BTUs for the unit. Drip pans for the inside of the house. I'll just run through these. Dissimilar metals, we see a lot of copper versus galvanized fittings and stuff that corrode. It's not a safety violation, but it is a maintenance violation that later the unit leaks and will have problems. A lot of the gas lines, gas hot water heaters we do see have venting issues, and you have to vent the gases out of that area. This one in this picture is shown correctly. I'll show you some that are not. Electric hot water heaters, we have some issues with those. Typically, it's the electrical line coming out. They're typically supposed to be in conduit, or they're supposed to be protected from damage. As you can see in this picture, it's raw Romax wiring, and it goes into the hot water heater without a connector. So, and the next picture shows about the same. This is what we see where the connectors are just hanging out there loose when that should be all in conduit. Here's some venting issues of the gas hot water heaters. This is obviously it appears to be a flexible clothes dryer vent that is twisting around, and actually, hot air goes up. This is not going to go out of the room, and so it's going to back up into that room and cause carbon monoxide in that room. Same thing with this picture, just bad insulation. This is another one where they actually relocate the hot water heater. This is a typical one we see in mobile homes. Obviously, this was put into a closet with the electrical panel behind it. This is actually our picture. We've caught this in our county. Some of the systems that are out there now, and technology's come a long ways. We have specific hot water heaters for mobile homes. They're specifically for those. We have now high efficiency hot water heaters, which are basically have venting that require just a PVC pipe to go to the house. We have on-demand hot water systems now, pretty intricate but highly efficient. We have hydronic heating and floor heating that also serve as hot water for the house too. But that's just some of the new technology stuff we're seeing. This presentation or this proposal is specifically addressing tanked residential hot water heaters, electric or gas. So, in conclusion, hot water heaters are an integral part of the residential dwelling plumbing system. A hot water tank is a pressure vessel that has potential to explode on thermal expansion. It contains near boiling water that has potential to burn and scald. Electric hot waters have the potential of electrical shock hazard, and gas water heaters have the potential for fire and asphyxiation hazards. The building codes address all these potential hazards and provide standards for safe installation and use of these systems. Mojave County does not require a licensed plumber to install a hot water heater. The do-it-yourself homeowner or handyman can perform the work. Our permit is $73. That requires one inspection, typically. The purpose behind the building codes is to give a reasonable assurance that the home is safe. We believe this is a safety item that is important. The permits do provide a permanent record for the work performed and inspections conducted on the project. While hot water heaters are somewhat universal, the installation is critical for life safety. As seen in the PowerPoint presentation, numerous installation errors can occur, making an inspection important. As Scott said, on June 24th, the Building Code Advisory Board held a public hearing, and their recommendation was they passed a motion to recommend to the Planning Commission and to the Board of Supervisors, Mojave County keep the permit and inspections mandatory, but provide no charge for the service. Staff's recommendation is to continue the requirement to obtain and inspect residential water heaters with fee. And that concludes staff's report. If you have any questions, feel free to answer them.
Thank you very much. Questions?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've changed many water heaters. Anybody with common knowledge can probably just reverse the steps of the water heater that's already there. I'll give you a couple scenarios. Your water heater goes out Saturday morning. You go down to Home Depot, you pick up a hot water heater, you install it, you're back in business in an hour. Number two, you got to get a permit. You got to wait till Monday, so you're 2 days already without hot water. You get the hot water heater, you install it, you got to wait how many days to get it inspected? Nobody's going to want to go 5 days without hot water, especially if you got a rental. That person wants that fixed now. You're not going to get a plumber out there on a Saturday with a permit. So I just think it should be up to the individual if they want to get a permit and wait for the inspection and all that stuff. Because I'm telling you, water heater is probably one of the easiest repairs you can do on a home, without a doubt. And I've never had a permit, and I've never had a failure on probably a dozen water heaters I'd put in.
Chairman Hassett, Commissioner Kirkham. I agree. It seems like a very simple system that, and changing like for like, that's something we looked at. That's assuming that the hot water heater was installed correctly in the first place. What we've seen in some of our rehab housing programs is they get in there and the hot water heater has been replaced incorrectly. And if you change it out like for like, it's still incorrect. So we've seen a lot of that, but as I agree with you, it is a real simple installation. It should be fairly easy and done right.
So the option, I mean, staff, your department's recommendation is to maintain the permit, maintain the fee.
Correct, sir.
Correct. And the county supervisor's was to either remove it or make it optional, right? If it becomes optional, is there a fee?
Mr. Chair, through this process, at the Board of Supervisors meeting, they directed staff to take a look at it and to present the options. And in doing so, staff will continue to maintain, we're going to look at it and make sure that our experts are looking at it and giving the recommendation on what we feel would best fit for the county and for the safety of the county. That's our job. And really, it's up to the commission and to the board to decide which direction to go. There is one other county, is it La Paz?
La Paz County.
Yeah, La Paz County does not require permits for hot water heaters.
But they do have it on their fee schedule for their building fees.
It's on their fees, but they just don't require the permit. So it's really up to, we're just presenting our side of things, so it's up to the commission to decide whether or not to keep the permit the same as it is, to make it a voluntary permit for the applicants. So if the applicant wants to get a permit, they can come and get a permit, but not a requirement. Or to eliminate the permit altogether. Those are the three options that we're presenting, as well as the option that was presented by our Building Code Advisory Board, who are made up of contractors. They understood that it was a needed permit, safety issue, and but didn't feel that the fee was needed, and so their recommendation was to keep the permit but not have a fee. And so it's really up to the commission what they would like to present to the Board of Supervisors.
That's even a worse decision. Do all this work and require it and no money.
So I have, thank you. I have a couple of questions. First question is, and this is just opinion because, and I actually did look at this when this came up about how many other jurisdictions have these permits, and to your point, almost all jurisdictions have these permits, and I think for a good reason. It is easy to change out, but it's also can be a dangerous scenario. But on the other hand, same scenario with Commissioner Kirkman. People are going to do this on the weekend because no one wants to be without hot water. So is two questions. Number one, what percentage do you believe are actually getting permits?
Chairman Hassett and Commissioner Bradshaw, very low, I would say. It is very low, I'm sure. The other thing that I want to bring back to Commissioner Kirkland is there is a provision in the code for emergency services that you can do the work and perform it and within 48 hours come and obtain the permit.
So that was my next question, exactly, is if someone did self-perform or hire a plumber on Sunday, they come Monday, get the permit, it gets inspected, go down the road.
To answer your question, I believe there's 36 permits were obtained in 2024.
And I guarantee there was
752 units sold at Lowe's.
Yeah, and I would assume, and that's just Lowe's, and that's not the, yeah, so we're talking maybe 10%.
Mr. Chair and Commissioner Bradshaw, to help answer that as well, is we also require, a lot of the permits or inspections that we do on water heaters are on new builds. So a new house that's being built, it's included in the building inspection already. And so
it's not in these numbers.
It's not in these numbers are only the numbers that individuals come in to get their water heater permit.
Perfect.
Sure.
Yes. Sure.
So you're going to ask the weekend guy going to get a water heater. He's got to get a permit. That's $80. Then he's got to get a contractor because the permit's going to keep an eye on him. So I think it should be optional also that you're going to call the local contractor to come and put it in. So that's going to charge you. You got to buy the water heater too on the weekend or whatever. It usually happens on the weekend or at night. It should be, I feel it should be left optional to whether the person wants to get a permit or not. I think the permit's kind of, that's $80 for a permit just to put a water heater in.
Chairman House,
I
Commissioner
can't go
Hubbard,
along with that.
our standard inspection is $65. That just covers us to go out and take a look at whatever inspection we're doing. I do agree with you that it might seem minimal, but like I said, most of the jurisdictions do it. I'm not against voluntarily doing it. It actually safeguards the homeowner, down the road for, say, home inspections or something like that it has been installed and has been inspected by the county correctly.
And just, Mr. Chair, just to clarify, Commissioner Hubbard, we do not require that it is done by a contractor. It can be owner-builder can put in the water heater. So if you come and get the permit, you do not have to get a contractor to do it.
So this on new builds, housing developments and things, they got to have a permit to do that, so it's all done, right? That's all included, right? Yeah. So the individual homeowner, it's going to be optional.
All right.
Good.
Thank you. So, based on statistics, it's voluntary right now. I mean, let's be fair. So let's make it easy. Let's make it free. Let's make it so that it's a deal.
What we can get,
I'm
sounds
just,
like a good motion, but I believe.
I'm not motioning. I'm just commenting. But
I want to try to get the questions for staff. We also have another gentleman who needs to speak. Go ahead.
So I can kind of reiterate some of Commissioner Bradshaw's comments. It is already voluntary. I mean, I don't recall ever hearing about enforcement action against somebody for installing their hot water heater without a permit. So my question would be, if we did this and we made the permit free, which I'm against. I'm against doing away with the permit, and I'm against having it for free. But let's just say it was passed for free. Who's going to subsidize those inspections? Because, the county, the development services is, especially your division, is a fee for services division. So who's being charged? Where's the money come from to perform that service?
Mr. Chairs, Commissioner Patillo, would be subsidized by the general fund, so it'd just be the taxpayer, yeah.
Okay, so then why don't we just have them pay for the service they're getting to begin with and not subsidize it? And on top of that, I'm yes, it's easy to replace. Yes, I've replaced many in my lifetime. When I was a teenager, I replaced several at my parents' house, which has been torn down and it's no longer in existence without a permit. It's easy. However, it is something that is specifically called out in the building code. The county's permitted it historically, and I don't see a reason to change that at all. So I guess that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let me ask one little question.
First.
So primarily, you're not talking about new build.
No. No.
Chairman Hassett.
You're talking
Commissioner
about
Gelatin, too.
existing.
Correct, the new builds, and that came up was, one of the things where, the hot water heater is installed correctly. Well, in new construction, yes, but an average hot water heater lasts 5 to 8 years, maybe 10. You're going to change it out, and we're hoping that the person changes it out like for like and stays the same, and that would be great, but we've seen instances where it's not. A 10-year-old house, and all of a sudden, they're having plumbing problems, or they're having gas problems. So in a perfect world, the change out would be correct, of like for like, but that's just not what we're seeing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, Chuck DeShazer.
Yeah, Chuck DeShazer, 8778 Polaris Road, Topak. I'd like to start off by saying in your presentation, you'll find a big old list of how many commissioners does it take to change a light bulb, and does it require a permit? They sat down and came up with 47 damn items that I think is a wish list for what they want permits. We don't have permits required in the code for, say, a clothes dryer, but they cause more fires than the hot water heaters here. The only reason this is in the code is probably because there's a good lobbying for the plumbers union to make sure that it got into the code, because every time you change an appliance in your house, you're taking a chance on flooding or something else. I would love to see you guys send it up to them as being voluntary, because I went around to the various Home Depots and Lowe's, and they're all selling at least 100 hot water heaters per month. And we're talking, 23 or 36 or something like that in an entire year getting a permit. So right now it is the law. And my mother needed to have a hot water heater changed out. She called up Lowe's and they said, well, here's the contractor that we will work with. And the first thing he said is, well, the permit's going to be like $200 because the contractors don't get the permit and not charge you for their time of getting the permit too. So she went and got my brother and he changed it out. Other people don't want these guys that are not contractors themselves. They're not licensed contractors coming to the house and inspecting and saying, oh, well, we're here, that's not permitted, this ain't permitted, we're going to condemn the whole damn house. You're looking at opening up a whole bucket of worms here. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to talk to you for as long as you need.
Thank you very much, sir. Closing the public hearing, I would like to entertain a motion for item 9.
I move that we recommend to the Board of Supervisors that the requirements for residential hot water heater permits remain unchanged.
Second. There is a motion and a second.
Let me clarify. That means it's voluntary, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
It means that it's a pay requirement and a pay.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
A paid requirement.
I misunderstood that.
So just for clarification, the motion on the table is to leave everything the way it is. There's a fee, there's a permit required. So there's a motion. Do I hear a second? Motion dies. Entertain a motion on item 9.
Leave it voluntary. Make a motion to leave it voluntary.
Make a motion to transition the process to voluntary with or without a fee.
No fee, sorry.
No fee.
Okay, so make it voluntary with no fee.
Hang on. If you get a permit, you got to pay for the permit. But to get a permit, it's voluntary. That's the way
Okay, so your motion, can we just clarify this?
Yes, my motion is to leave it voluntary, but if you get a permit, you have to pay the, whatever it was, $35 or whatever it was.
73.
Why would we require, why would we even?
That's
no
my
one's gonna get
motion.
a permit, though.
There's a first. Do I hear a second? Motion dies. You have a question, point of
I
clarity?
did. I if it was voluntary to get the permit, why would anyone apply for the permit then, if there was a fee associated?
They are contractors.
Mr. Chair,
Apply for it.
Mr. Chair, I could maybe help answer that. Commissioner Helm, I think the purpose would be, so if it is voluntary, people can come in and just do it if they want to, and that's fine. But if I want insurance or I want
Affirmation
protection,
you did it.
or assurance that it is done correctly, then I can pay for the permit and have it done correctly. So that would be the point of having a
In other words, a
voluntary.
contractor would probably want to get a permit
Yeah.
for his insurance.
DIY,
So is there a new, that motion is dead, so I'm looking for a new motion on item 9.
Can I offer some perspective?
Yes.
So, and I realize my motion died, and that's fine. The reason I made it is this. It's something that's in the building code.
Yeah.
It's something that other places in Arizona and the nation think is appropriate for permitting, so that you have an official inspector look at it and say yes or no. Regardless of whether, how easy it is to change out or not, it's a recognized issue by people other than us. And I just see that as shirking the duty of the county to do that. For all practical purposes, it's voluntary for DIYers. Nobody's going around, there's no hot water heater police. But what there is there's a permit that is in the best interest of the county to keep, because the county is being asked to, give their blessing to so many things on the building process. And this is one of them that traditionally is permitted, and it should remain. And that's why I did it. I just see it drawing the county into, a position of at least what would seem to me a potential liability situation at some point. Maybe I'm being far too exaggerated on that. I don't know. And that's just why I don't feel good about doing away with it or even making it voluntary.
Would you like to resubmit?
Yeah,
your
I would
motion?
rescind yours.
Resubmit mine?
I'd vote for it now.
Well,
Okay.
And if you won't, then I think same scenario, same condition. Here it is. This is,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but we've wasted a lot of time on 9.
we have, and.
Okay,
but
go
I
ahead.
wanted to make, so if you would, indulge me.
Yes, sir.
And I am prepared to make a motion.
Perfect.
So, and this is in the building code, and it probably is not a wise decision to go against a code that is an industry-wide accepted code based on that. There is no, as far as I know, there's like Commissioner Patillo said, there's no water heater police. There's nobody out there finding people that don't do this. So I will move that we keep it as it is today, a required permit with a fee.
Your motion is no change on county building.
My motion is no
Or
change.
code.
I would second that with one addition, if I may. And that,
I don't think you can second, if you want to make a
Well,
motion on your own,
what-
but I still would like to hear what you have to say,
What
but I don't
is-
think it's a second.
Well, I would have to.
I
amend
withdraw my
motion.
second, by the way.
I would have to amend my motion.
Correct. Yes.
I would like to see maybe a 72-hour period, grace period for getting a permit instead of the 48, just to appease the homeowner and give them a little more time to get in and get a permit, and, just for that purpose.
hot water for 5 days.
You're referencing an emergency scenario, correct?
In an emergency scenario where they,
And I don't
which they
necessarily.
probably will all be.
I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Is that prudent with the code? I mean, is that part of the code that there's a grace period?
Yes.
Well, on an
48 hour.
emergency scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but is that a part of the code that there's a 48-hour grace period and that's stated in there?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Bradshaw, that is stated in the code. I just spoke with our chief building official. I don't think that would be an issue to increase it. We also, if somebody goes and puts in a water heater and they want to come 5 days, 10 days later, we will still do an inspection. I think it is a double fee, so it'd be, because it's an after the fact permit. But the grace period is that 48 hours currently, and if you wanted to increase that, that could be an option.
Well, I will. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, is the 48 hours based on the county work schedule or 48 like calendar hours? If that's open to interpretation, that's fine, but then I would encourage you tell people to change the date on the date it was installed, because that's not fair to double charge someone because the county was closed on Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day.
Right. No, that
That's
makes
not-
sense. I think it'd be open for interpretation on that, definitely.
Well, so, all right, so I will amend my motion then, based on this conversation. Maybe we'll,
Chairman Hassett, Board, I don't think we've ever even came to that thing of it's 48 hours. If they come in for the permit, within the next week of saying, hey, I had an emergency and I need to change this out, we accept that. We don't scrutinize.
I think that's my biggest complaint is I agree with leaving it the same, but I don't mess with somebody. If you're there to look at one other thing, just stay out of the water heater closet. You're there for this and that's it. That's just my opinion. So,
well,
thank you for your.
Unless there is something very life safety.
Well,
staring at us.
clearly, yeah. I'm gonna
so
argue that.
I would like to amend my motion based on this conversation,
Perfect.
and that is, I would like to remove the stipulation that it's a double fee if you come in some weeks later or some days later, and then also to extend the time to 72 hours. That seems reasonable.
I think, so that's Mr. Chair, the double fee thing is not just based on this permit. It's on all permits. It's so that people don't come in after the fact to get permits.
Yeah, that's like if you demo a house and don't ask for a permit.
Sure. I'm talking specifically to this and this water heater. Now, if it's not enforced, then I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, like Chief Building Official mentioned, and Commissioner Hassett, or Chairman Hassett, when we look at the situation, if they had an emergency over the weekend or something like that, we're going to work with them. We're going to make sure that it's not, but if they come in 3 weeks later, something like that, then that's maybe different.
Still maintaining my motion, so.
Okay, and I'm sorry, the public hearing is already closed, so
That's something to add about being in the code or required to be doubled. Ask permission.
I'll second that motion.
I would encourage call to the public because it is an interesting point. There's a first and a second.
Correct.
You got to read the motion.
The motion, yes, I will
One last
restate it.
final of your
Yes,
motion.
Thank you. So my motion is to maintain the permit as a requirement, as a fee permit, with no late penalties, or, and with a 72-hour, and again, that's kind of redundant, but a 72-hour grace period.
Okay, 72 staff hours.
I'll leave that to interpretation.
There's a first, second, first and a second. All in favor of the motion on the table?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
2, motion carries. Item 10. I don't have it, I don't know who it is, so I gotta go. Oh, well, we've had enough of those.
Yeah.
Item 11. I gotta go back up to the top of my agenda book to get to it.
I actually had a staff question under
Yes, sir.
Commissioner's comments.
Go ahead, I was just kidding. So, sorry.
What's up with the general plan?
They opened a can of worms.
I know I did, and I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Patillo, Commissioners, we do appreciate everything that you guys have done on the general plan. One of the issues that we've run into is we had our subcommittee meetings, and each of those subcommittee meetings, we did post it on the website and with the agenda and the meeting times, but we did have our website got switched over, and we lost a lot of those meetings, including some of our Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. So it was actually during the exact time that we had all of our subcommittee meetings. That being said, we had a lot of individuals that are upset that it's not, that it wasn't published. So to remedy that, we are going to bring the general plan back to the Planning and Zoning Commission and redo all 8 subcommittee presentations. We're going to kind of abbreviate them a little bit, but allow the public from any of those areas to come and voice any opinions, just to make sure that we're satisfying any and all public notices that we mentioned before. And so this will give the public another opportunity to come and speak at that time. After we hold that meeting with the commission can still also make changes at that meeting if they wish. We will hold a special meeting with the Board of Supervisors, and I believe they might have some changes that they're looking to make, and so we will have to come back another time to the commission. We're not in a super hurry. We do have the state requirements to do it every 10 years, but there is some grace period if we're not done by December. So I think we're going to continue to work through the process. We do have to bring it back a few more times to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
So was there or was there not an open meeting law violation?
Commissioners, I don't want to move this too much into a discussion. This is just going to be comments and announcements. If we want to talk more about this, it would have to be put on the agenda. I don't want to be accused of another open meeting law.
Got it. Sure. No problem. Thank you.
So
do you want it on the agenda then? Not on this one.
Yeah.
The next one.
Mr. Chair, we do have an item for next commission meeting for the general plan.
Perfect.
So
Good. Thanks.
So I do have a follow-up. So is it, are you going to present all of the general plan in one meeting? So it'll be a special meeting? It will be in addition to the regular agenda? How do you, or will it just be with the particular subcommittee?
It would be with the entirety of the Planning and Zoning Commission, but we're going to hear all 8 subcommittees at that meeting.
Oh, special, so will that be a special meeting or?
It would be our regular September meeting.
It'll be especially long.
Yes, it could be.
I got a question for staff, maybe it's for the lawyer. Should we go into executive session and talk about the violation or thought of violation? To get us some clarification on that before we tackle the general plan again?
And that could be a discussion for the next meeting. I don't think it'd be appropriate right now, but that's something
That could be.
Yeah, that's something we discuss, or if you guys would like to put that on.
Yeah,
there.
because
if you want to suggest that prior to when that item hits the agenda at the next meeting, if you would like to do that, I would suggest doing so.
I'll do that.
Okay. Any other comments or comments from commissioners for staff? If not, I would like to open call to the public. There's a gentleman, Kenny Works.
Kenny Works, Yucca, Arizona. I've been concerned about the size of the lots. I think that quarter acre is really too small. I think that 1 acre is appropriate. The downside to thinning out the population or making the lot sizes larger is you're thinning out the population. And thinning out the population, you have less representation, less services available, less money coming into the government and whatnot. I think that there's less revenue all around. But I think that can be countered by 1 acre lot. You've got room for your house, a couple of RV pads, a mother-in-law cottage, and they could all be rented out and add to the population at the same time. It'd be mostly a transient type population, but it would still contribute to the economy. But I think that there needs to be more discussion on things like that, and I think that too much of it gets passed over, and I don't know how we would go about having the discussions that are necessary to determine these things, but it seems to me like there needs to be a lot more discussion on a lot of these issues, especially with the hot water heater situation. That there were some issues that didn't come up that I thought needed to come up in this last discussion about the hot water heaters. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other items or individuals for call to the public? If not, I'm going to close the public hearing and meeting is adjourned. Oh, yeah, yeah.